Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations, Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, the destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 17, verse number 8, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, threefold faith. The topic in this state is three types of food: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Every good thing that you become involved in doesn't stay good unless you evaluate it in the terms of Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. Give charity, it can be Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Eat food, it can be again under. Come into Sangha, association with people, it can be Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. In every situation. But don't be too analytical. If your nature becomes purified, you are automatically drawn to that which is Sattvic in every level. But until then, rather you have to. A tree has to have good roots. Then it can be confident to go on growing. So therefore, you have to see yourself where you are, how much sadhana has to be done. But that idea and understanding of what is right and how to follow it, that must go on developing. Food is of three types: Sattvic food, Rajasic food, Tamasic food. Here the insight that is being given is very precise and highlighted insight. Those who deal with dietary practices, dietitians, they have to become involved in gaining deeper understanding. Without going to further detail, 8th verse, which I had done before, but I am going to reiterate. Ayuha sattvam balarogya sukha priti vivardhana rasya snigdha sthira hridya ahara sattvika priya. Foods that promote life. Sanskrit word is ayu. Always in blessing people say, there is ayu ho. May you live long. But if your life is not in a sattvic aspect, it's a curse. Don't take it seriously. But what would make your life purposeful, joyous? Ahar. The word ahar has broad implications. Any intake is called ahar. What you listen to, the association you keep, all these are ahar, food, but come down to a very practical level. The food that is taken day by day, and it has such an impact on your body and mind. And it is a factor that relates you to people around, your relatives, near and dear ones. That's what happens whenever you are enjoying and bring a party. What is the highlighted matter? What are we going to eat? Now, Ayu, long life, healthy life, Sattva. Now, Ayu, life that is enriched by Sattva Bala, Sattvic strength. Or Sattva Bala is a very profound word. If faith in you has become awakened to a certain degree, they are moved by divine strength. That strength comes from your mental state. What I'm leading you to understand is the divine touch behind it. The Sattvic Bala cannot be measured by chemical calories. That's a totally different type. Sometimes we hear of saintly people who've done a big fast and they emerge out of it stronger. You don't have to do big fast, but understand the food you are eating should contribute to your mental strength. Yatha annam tatha mannam. As is your food, so is your mind. Therefore, in ashrams, as the food is being distributed, people line up and the food is being given, they don't start eating. They all start doing a chorus of mantra. The Gita, 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, is recited. Urdhva mula madaha shakam. The world is like a big tree. The roots are above. The branches are below. Leading to how to terminate that world process. So, while that mantra goes on, and you have no choice but to listen to it. You are being given a special samskara, a divine association, a divine impact on your mind. So food is a medium for enhancing your sattva bala. Sattva relates to your entire mental process, mana buddhi chitta ahankara. And I will not go into too much detail on it. Arogya, free of rogue, disease. But in scriptural terminology, disease is not just what the medically considered disease. Even the very possibility of entering into another embodiment is disease, bhava-vyadhi, the disease of the world process. I have a little defect. I'm moving quickly to higher level. But come down to very practical level. Food enhances your health. Automatically, you will not have immature type of life. You will live long. Mental strength. And along with the food, you must realize your mental strength goes on increasing. So keep your attention in that direction as well. Vitality, health, cheerfulness, and a loving nature. Sattvic food contributes to these points. Now come to more practical aspect, which are savory, swadisht. In other words, your tongue likes it. Nutritious implying it provides for you minerals and vitamins needed for your health, digestible and agreeable. These are dear to the Sattvikas. I'm just leading you a little into various terminologies. If you have Sattvic ahar, your conduct will be also Sattvic. Conduct is called achar. Eating food, pickles in the food are called achar. Just like food becomes delightful when you have a little touch of lemon pickle or some. Pickles also have different types. Healthy type of pickles they enhance your sattva. But if you just eat the pickle, then it becomes Rajasic and Tamasic. Then we call vyavahar. Ahar, vishesh food. That's the meaning of the word vyavahar. Vyavahar means how do you conduct yourself with people? How do you live? What is the style of your life? And that depends upon your ahar. And then the term comes vihar. If you have sattvic type of food, you become joyous. People in a nice setting, have a good party or a good satsanga type of function. And it happens here also. You see, when you have good satsanga and then you end up with having good food, and that during that time some music goes on. That's you are doing, enjoying it, vihar. Buddha used the word vihar more. In the context of Buddhism, vihar term is very important. Enjoying, nourished by spiritual movement. Feel you are living in a world in a joyous way, not like a rabbit frightened at every moment. Now coming to the next type of food. Katva, amla, lavana, ati ushna, tikshna, ruksha, vidahina, ahara rajasasyeshta, dukh, shoka, maya prada. Foods that are very bitter. Katu. I'm waiting so that you can imagine well. Now, to give you a sample of katu term, neem, those who are accustomed to this, introduced to these herbs, herbal trees, neem is katu in taste. But that doesn't come in the category of Rajasic or Tamasic. It comes in the category of Sattvic. So you have to also open your mind to understand. When neem is taken in a small measure or according to required measure, another one is Karela, that also is Katu. Neem and Karela, they come in Sattvic category. They promote good health and obstruct anything of a toxin of a negative nature. But then there are so many other things that people go after to make the food chatpat. Chatpata is exciting. The verse has a special point The verse is saying bitter, sour, hot, pungent, but with each one there is term very, very bitter, very sour, very hot, very pungent. So all those tastes are perfectly okay if they are in normal bounds. But when you eat your food with excessive pungency, excessive hot, sour, then it becomes Rajasic and Tamasic. If it becomes too excessive, it becomes Tamasic. Dry, katu, amla, lavana. Lavana is saltish. Some people have said, bring me more salt, a little more. Even though food has been well prepared. And they go on developing that habit. And it goes on increasing. And that's extremely detrimental. Atyushna, very hot. Servant brings you tea, you put your finger into it, take it away. It's not hot enough. So just because few degrees less, you go into temper. I'm giving you quite a lot of imagination. And some people become accustomed. They begin to receive relief. Whenever they have slightest disturbance, bring me hot, hot, hot. Anything in moderation is good. But when it becomes extreme, it becomes Rajasic or Tamasic. Tikshna, another term. Sharp to taste. Ginger, onion, garlic, they come under that tikshna state. Take a little garlic into your mouth, crunch it, then you will know what I am meaning. Same way, even cutting the onion, you can't look at it unless you start shedding tears. That doesn't mean that they are not good. They are all medicinal and can be taken in certain measures depending upon your requirement. But another one is adrak, ginger. The Hindi word is adi. And when people are fascinated by something and become addicted to it, the Hindi expression is, जो शराब का आदी हो गया. Adi term, he becomes fascinated, addicted. But same ginger has so many medicinal values. So you have to always understand it's not all these descriptions of the three types of food are not to be taken like a mathematical, precise descriptions. You have to understand the spirit behind it. What makes food Sattvic? Even the best of Sattvic food, if you go on eating excessively, one banana is Sattvic. 3 bananas become Rajasic. 10 bananas Tamasic. Keep your mind open. Don't just fool yourself. I'm taking nothing but Sattvic. Another one is ruksha, dry. The market is filled with ruksha food, beginning with popcorns, all the type of dry foods that you crunch, because I'm not accustomed to it, I can't remember what are those. So many fried stuff. All types of fried stuff. Lots of them, varieties of them. And people sit down and go on crunching. Chips. Now, that again, if it is within measured, limited bounds, it's perfectly okay. It delights your teeth and delights the people near you. They hear your crunch. But you are depending upon. Even papadam comes into that category. If you are being given different types of food, what say? Just give me papadam. Give me 4 of them. 6 of them. 6 of them. Then we're moving to our Rajasic food. Vidahina. Another characteristic of Rajasic food, that while eating, it's wonderful, you go on enjoying it. But when eating is over, burning sensation takes over your stomach. Then you sit back regretting. Dukh, shok, amaya, prada. Food that gives sadness, takes your joy away. You must know there are diets that promote joyousness. Diets that take away your joyousness. Sattvic food promotes joyousness. But Rajasic food promotes a sense of suffering, sadness, depression, shok, grief, which is another degree of depression. Just depressed, you are calm and harmless. Shok, you start cursing everyone, cursing yourself. Grief, in brief, it is a very negative quality. Amaya. Amaya term is disease. Different type of diseases arise out of Rajasic food. Now coming to Tamasic food. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam chamedyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Imagine these studies were made long, long ago. Foods that are stale, yatayaman, food that has stayed on, rotting as it were. In yatayaman, stale, in that range comes all foods that are frozen for a very long time in your refrigerator. Someone made very good food and enjoyed it so much. Make plastic packets, put it in your freezer. Lined your freezer with so many types of delicious things. And can go on eating it for 3 years, 4 years. That food has no vitality. Plus, it becomes a source of unimaginable troubles. Gata rasam. Rasa term means food that is rich with vitamin, minerals, all nutritious elements. Food with rasam. Don't take it literally, the Madrasi rasam. That rasam there, it comes from the same source. I'm not underestimating Madrasi. I'm just saying the context is not that. That rasam has its own value and it's wonderful. Gat rasam, food that does not have that vitamin essence in it. It's called gata rasam, it has no rasa. Puti, that's where comes putana term. I will go into the story of putana, but puti means food that is kind of envenomed. Food that has become foul smelling and lost all its natural quality. Apple starts smelling like onions. You say, what a wonder. Look, I made a miracle. You can take a piece of onion and an apple. There is another different type of minds. They allow the food to become rotten. More rotten, they are more proud of their being rotten. But if there is a medical, scientific guidance behind it, that's a different matter. In general, the normal rule, don't go after foods that have lost their natural aroma. Paryushitam, food that has stayed on unprotected. And even stayed on, whether protected or unprotected. For 4 days, for 8 days, made rotis, breads, and cover them up. And days later, you start eating. It sounds the same bread. Sounds everything the same. But it has lost its nutritive quality. It has gained something toxic. Uchishtam, which is another important point which people ignore. A baby pup comes near you. With one finger feeds the baby. The same finger feed yourself. I give you a dramatization of it. Uchishta food. In Orthodox families, speaking on a Sattvic style of people, anything that has been touched, a dish from which somebody has tasted and put his hand again and again into it, that dish will not be served to as a holy food. But in some styles, people sit together and they started drinking something, liquor, wine or whatever, or even good sarbat, good drink. But they go on taking from the same glass that goes from one person to another. And that's tamasic. And the worst uchist, somebody vomits it. You were surprised. You vomit. Put a laddu in your mouth doesn't like it, vomit it. But then you pick it. Amedhyam, food where you are involved with flesh, fish, lot of alcoholic drinks, mans, machali, madira. Don't be discouraged those who eat them. But try to go on understanding and move away if you want to avoid big troubles like cancer and many other troubles. And come to vegetarian style of diet which promotes greater security in your health. But here the word is amedhyam. Medha term relates to developing subtle intellect. Gross intellect maintains all the practical values of day-to-day life. Subtle intellect guides you how to improve your karmas, how to progress on the spiritual path, how ultimately to develop bhakti and mukti. Food has that type of role. So the types of food that do not have that ingredient, medha, that factor that promotes subtlety of intellect, those foods that obstruct that movement, spiritual movement, they are amedhyam and they are tamasic food. In the 11th verse, we are switching our attention now, the term yajna. The yajna term has two implications. How to bring about purity in your personality. And negative qualities are described as animals. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. In the Vedas, a very humorous statement, I don't have it now. Kama moves like an owl. Ulukayatum. Krodha moves like another kind of a vulture or some shouting creature. Moha moves like another animal. Given a kind of allegorical description of animals. Now those animals are to be sacrificed. When the term is used, people who don't understand, they actually catch those animals. Create a religious ritual with mantras. And allow the animal to become roasted in that fire. And then they enjoy eating it. That is not really yajna. But all descriptions of yajnas are like that. The real yajna is focus your attention on your anger and catch hold of it. Sublimate it. Any action, any spiritual discipline you adopt that allows you to conquer mala and sublimate it. Mala is actually nothing but disintegrated energy, short-circuited energy, same electricity that gives you all comfort. Become short-circuited, I don't want to describe further. What's the cure? Bring about correction. When it's corrected, That which was a source of trouble, the same now moves in a proper channel. That's called yajna. Every house has its own yajna. Your whole personality is a big house. It needs a lot of yajna. You do japa, it's called japa yajna. Share your knowledge with others, it's called jnana yajna. Any action that purifies your heart is a form of yajna. So 11th mantra. Aphala kankshibhi yagnyo vididrishto cha yijyate yashtavyameveti mana samadhaya sa satvikaha. Sacrifice. That's how it's translated, always sacrifice. But you have to understand what it implies. Yajna, or sacrifice that is offered without expectations of fruit. When you expect a fruit, in other words, things to happen according to your expectation, Sattvika understands that your expectation is not always healthy. So you express your expectation. At the same time, you say to God, if you are praying, do what is best for me. Don't do exactly what I'm expecting. Keep your mind open. Let God guide you, not your ego. So a Sattvika develops that type of mind, not expecting the fruit designed by its own expectation. Performing yajna in accordance with the spiritual teachings. Spiritual teachings are Shastra Vachan. Shastra term means threefold discipline. Yajna that disciplines your body, your speech, your mind, in such a way that you become a channel of divine will. You become extremely purified, leading to your liberation. With a sense of duty and firm faith, just like you go on breathing and you feel much joyous when you are breathing in a pure atmosphere, you breathe in a little more. Yajna is that type of practice that allows you to breathe in a more mystical way. Shital Manda Sugandh. Let me explain to you. Generally, when you describe poetically a beautiful atmosphere called gentle, cool, fragrant, and in that atmosphere you enjoy, relaxed. If you are practicing yajna, that type of atmosphere builds up within your personality. Instead of being haunted by fearful desires, you become relaxed. Your mind enjoys how things have happened, how things are happening, not according to your ego, but by divine will. How wonderful the whole creation is. And in that state, you begin to experience a sense of expansion, mand, gentle. When the sun rises, its movement is gentle. Sugandh, you become aromatic. Every human being, whether you like it or not, is the source of some fragrance, foul or divine. Stories of Mahabharata. Satyavati was born fish fragrance. Her personality emanated fishy smell for 4 miles. Animals smell from a distance. But when she had association with sage Parashara, Satsanga, she became Yojana Gandha, from Matsya Gandha, from fishy smell, to flowery fragrance. Don't think into the history. Every human mind has the same. When tamasic thoughts dominate your mind, you become Matsya Gandha. Because even people who come to you, they're affected by it. You may not know it, but if you are mother, father in a family, people all around you, loved ones, they come under the grip of the way you are smelling. Therefore, that type of function of your mind called vasana. Vas term is a smell. Durvas, suvas. Bad smell is durvas. Good smell is called suvas. So, Sattvic Yajna changes your vasanas from fishy state to flowery state, from impure vasana to pure vasana, Shubha vasana. Karmas that are performed with a sense of duty, which promote chitta shuddhi. Actions that you do, not feeling pressured and forced, but a gracious plan presented to you from God. I'm bringing these words, but all that we mean is enjoy whatever you are doing, not condemn it. You go on doing your duties and at the same time go on cursing yourself. Why didn't I have a better job? Instead of going on digging into a field, I should be sitting in an office. And wonderful news breaking every moment. I'm dramatizing. I'm not condemning anything. But karmas, if they are done with proper attitude, the karmas become karma yoga. First understand how thankful you should be to God that He has given you certain responsibility from the very time you are born. You cannot stay just stuck in one place. Like a river that must flow on. You go on figuring out what type of job I have to do. Under the guidance of God, you are led by from one job to another, and there are always a day that passes where you have no job. A day of loneliness, boredom. So don't despise work. It's the most greatest gift of God that keeps you involved. When that understanding enters into your job, in the performance of duties, then it becomes yajna. The same karmic movement, instead of creating in your mind more anger, more hate, more negative qualities, the movement begins to wipe away those impurities, sacrifice them. So what you are doing is sacrificing vulture, goats, buffaloes. Remember, don't take it in reality. They're all mental impurities. You are sacrificing them. And sacrifice brings out anger. Sacrificed becomes love, understanding, forgiveness. Pride sacrificed becomes divine humility. Cruelty sacrificed becomes compassion. So behold the miracle of sacrifice. And the term is used here, samadhaya tas sattvika, samadha, samadhan, karmas blended with little devotion, meditation, vairagya. These terms are called vikarmas. Karma blended with vikarmas. That's the nature of yajna movement. It leads you, it climaxes with surrender to God. And your heart opens up in a profound way. Chitta Shuddhi. And we will continue next time. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.